While I was out for a walk the other day around the streets of Greater London, I saw a sight that is now not uncommon. A man wearing a face mask. But what struck me even further was that while he was walking, he was staring down at his phone, to the point where I actually had to get out of his way to avoid him from bumping into me. And I think one of these things or the other probably wouldn't have struck a chord with me in the same way, but seeing both of these things, seeing this man walking through the world but not engaging with it at all, even to the point of not showing the world his face, really did show me something, that humanity is becoming less human, and the pandemic is accelerating that. Transhumanism is a philosophy that argues that through the use of new biotechnologies, humanity can overcome sickness, aging, and even death. Some transhumanists even argue that technology should be used to overcome the barriers of human emotions. That emotions, particularly when it comes to depression and other mental health conditions, are a barrier to people being able to fully enjoy their lives and maximize their rational decision making. They believe that human emotions can often be a barrier to rational decision making. This intertwining of humanity with technology is not something brand new at all. Even in my lifetime, we have seen a greater and greater intertwining. It used to be that you had technology in your home, but you had to go to it. You had a house phone, you had a computer, you had a thing that you had to go to sit at to be sort of plugged into the matrix. And then the second you walked away from that, you were no longer plugged in. And then, as I got older, as time went on, we started getting smartphones. Small little computers, portable computers that you could keep in your pocket and you could carry about with you at all times. Right now we're sort of seeing the transition to sort of the next phase, where we're no longer having it on us, we're wearing it. We're seeing more smartwatches, Google glasses, things like that, wearing technologies. It doesn't take a genius to theorize that the next step is likely to be technology being within us. You know, like a credit card chip in your wrist to pay for things, nanobots in your DNA to prevent sickness and even aging, a multimedia chip implanted in your brain. I mean, you could watch Breaking Bad without even having to open your eyes. Now that's convenience. Talking of DNA, then there are the mRNA and, in the near future, DNA vaccines. This is where it's going to get a little controversial. Gene-based vaccine proponents have argued that the coronavirus is an incredibly important step in the development of mRNA and DNA vaccines, as unprecedented levels of funding and effort was put into creating these new vaccine technologies due to the pandemic. Ryan Cross, in the Journal of Chemical and Engineering News, argued that, and I quote, "Several companies see a silver lining in the pandemic, an opportunity to test their therapies in clinic and potentially put them on the market far faster than they would have otherwise." This is happening while billionaires, especially the ultra-rich of Silicon Valley, such as Amazon's Jeff Bezos, are investing millions of dollars in companies whose explicit aims are to prevent aging and even death. If you took any random human from 30 years ago and you put them on the street and you showed them that man that I saw walking down the street, covering his face like an old Western bandit, staring down at a screen, at a little black square, like it has some control over him, I believe that person would wonder with sorrow what happened to humanity. Then again, on the other hand, using technology to overcome the constraints of human biology is pretty much as old as humanity itself. You could say ever since the first human took a stick and sharpened it on a rock to kill an animal and eat it, that was a human using technology to overcome a biological constraint. What is absolutely certain is that what it means to be human and what it means to interact with other humans in the world is likely to radically change in the near future. Thank you very much for watching.